Hey Quantabotics, Smart Buy or SBI, what is it and how do you use it? So the job of Smart Buy is to try and detect the bottom of the market. Toridion's finance API, the predictive analytics there, it's returning a value that tells us if the predictive analytics is signaling that we've reached the end of a downward trend, and that it's likely, obviously, is that if you've reached the bottom of a downward trend and you buy there, you're going to get more for your money than you would if you buy it when it's higher. That's not to say that it won't go lower, but that's the theory. That's what really SBI is about. It's also got some pretty interesting sort of features behind the scenes there, where what it actually will do is it will prevent a double down at the same value, because if you keep buying at the same value on a sideways market, then obviously all your positions are lumped together. They're equivalently, they're merged. So as they drop together, whereas if the purchase is on a staggered thing, the theory would be that as they come back up, each one closes one after the other incrementally, and losses high up will be counteracted by losses lower down. So it's kind of like a hedging system. So that's what Smart Buy is. Let's have a quick look at how it actually performs. I'm just scrolled into my Quantabotics dashboard, and I'm going to nip down to the log section, which you can enable here. It's very easy. You just click View Logs, and the logs will appear. And we'll go down and see an SBI. We're looking for an SBI entry. So here we've got an SBI entry, November the 11th, 2:05 a.m. UTC. Which is now GMT because of the clocks have changed. So we've got an open position there with a 1% take profit, and that basically is 2:05. Let's have a look there. 2:05 on the 11th. So let's go back and have a look at there. There we go. Okay, so here we can see that just here at 48,167 was 2 o'clock in the morning. The the predictive analytics had said that it thought that the market had reached an SBI trigger point, i.e. that it was at the bottom of a current downward trend. So it's issued a trigger here. This is the trigger under the settings that we've set, which I'll go over the settings anyway, but it's issued the trigger, which has gone over to Cryptohopper. And then Cryptohopper here, you can see at 2:06, has actually placed that order 0.0017 BTC, which is what we actually asked it to open, 0.0017 BTC with a 1% take profit. That has then subsequently sold at 7:37 that morning with a 1.04% profit. You can see the source of the trigger is Quantabotics, and then the profit closed automatically at 1.04%. So looking at that chart, you can see that had just happened to be a pretty good job, and I was happy for my bot to do that. Let's take a look at a chart of SBI triggers from the first 3 weeks of October, and just see where SBI was triggering with the settings that I was running at. And again, I'll come back around to the settings in a minute. Let's just have a quick look at the actual trigger points that were issued for the first 3 weeks of October. Let's pull up the chart. I've put my little drawing tool on. So this is from the 1st of October to the 21st of October 2021, and it's actually trades from my own bot that I use for testing purposes. Oh, let's just get rid of that. And what you can see here is, like, say that this here is the green circles are where SBI triggers have been made. So where it should be relatively looking like the bottom of a downward trend in the market. So these are it's quite a small scale, so you can't really see the hours, but you can see the main thrust of it. So look at something like this here, where we've got 3 triggers on the down, on the down, on the down, before the up, before the up, and before the up. So these were this here, this here, this here, good triggers, this here, cluster of triggers before quite an up cycle. Again, cluster of triggers here before an up cycle. So this has come from the analytics, and it drives the SBI trigger design that you will use in your actual hopper, in your bot design. So I'll just show you what to do here in terms of how to actually enable it. So I'm running SBI on this particular bot with no action on any of the rule-based system. And the reason is because SBI is actually independent. So it's this warning. This overrides the minimum volatility condition and causes your hopper to buy regardless of the volatility. Only enable if you understand the risks. So I've enabled it. And the reason is because I set my Quantabot to respect the accuracy of the actual data API that's pulling in information to the bot. So I want accuracy above 68% for my own personal my own personal choice is about 68%. I don't want my bot to trade on data that's less than 68% accurate over a 24-hour period. So I put 68% in this value. And normally for a rule-based sort of intelligent trading scheme, I would set the volatility to over 1.2 and less than 10% for my own personal choices. And that basically means that I don't want to trade unless the volatility is above a certain number of standard deviations that allows me to guarantee that I'm going to be able to make at least 1% profit in a trade. It's obvious. What otherwise I would... If I'm opening a position but it's only going to move up 0.3%, I'm not even going to make my fees back. So I'm trying to sort of say trade when it's volatile, but do that when it's accurate in terms of the data back-tested analytics. So SBI just functions independently when that is switched on, and you update this here with on your subscription. Then when the API says that the criteria are met, it's going to place a trigger here. So that's the way SBI works, and that's how I've got it configured in one particular bot for a buy low, sell high strategy based on my own particular preferences for accuracy of the predictive analytics. There are other ways to use it, especially if you've got hodling strategies, and I will cover that in another video. But for now, thanks very much. Keep on quantabotting, and I shall see you later.